Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Wanda Thomas, and you are watching and listening to the Lattes and Lenses podcast. With me today is my most favorite person in the world, Emi. I'm going to have her share exactly what she does because I think she's a genius, and I don't want to screw anything up because every time I introduce someone, I tend to either mess up a last name, I mess up the exact business, and I mess up their the description of their business. I've worked with Emi on a 6-week program, and I really benefited from it. And the Success Blueprint, correct? I want to make sure I get it right because when you look it up, there are different versions of the name. So I want to make sure I get Emi's right.
Okay.
And through the Success Blueprint, and I'm not going to give away the farm here because if you want to know more about it, you're going to go work with Emi, okay? You're going to go work with her and figure out what it is and how it works, how it can help your business and you thrive. So on that note, hi, Emi. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
How are you today?
Thank you. I am so excited to be here, and you just totally made my day. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
I love doing this. This is so much fun. So
awesome. So
really glad.
Tell us about your business.
Yeah. I work with creative entrepreneurs, and I help them move from the employee mindset and step into the leadership CEO role in their business, which results in them doubling and tripling their revenue.
Okay.
And I love it because I get to really take people, particularly with my one-on-one clients, I really get to take them from a place where they're struggling, they're having breakdowns, things aren't working, they're working way too many hours, they're feeling guilty about the time that they're spending at work because they're not with their kids or their family, or they're not taking time for themselves. Or vice versa, they're doing some of that stuff and then they're thinking, oh, I should be doing this for my business, I should be doing this for my business, blah, 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 and really create a life and a business that they love so that there's not balance, but fluidity.
Okay.
And I'm really, my latest soapbox thing is the whole working hard thing is a bunch of BS, and let's just find where your flow is.
Okay. So on that note, how long have you been in business?
I've been in business for 6 years. I started as a health coach. And the funny thing about health coaching, because I've always worked with entrepreneurs, is that when you start talking about what's stressing them out, what's not going well, why are you not eating, what's going on, blah, 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 they start sharing what's going on with their business. And I started really solving their business problems and helping them with sales and marketing strategies and growth plans, but also what's really keeping you from stepping into that leadership place. Why aren't you running the business? Why are you just doing the business? And it shifted. So about 2 years ago, I finally was like, oh, hey, this is how I'm serving people. So made the shift completely. I have all new programs. As you said, the Success Blueprint, which I've actually now made into an 8-week program, starts again in July. And I had so much fun with that program. You said you got a lot out of it. The other participants have made tremendous shifts in their business that have really allowed them to gain the financial independence that they want. So it's fun stuff.
My dog is in the hallway barking, so occasionally I will be muting the recording, as you can hear. With that, I think my next question is this, and I spoke with someone. 1 second, I'm sorry.
No worries.
I love the pause feature. Okay, so with that, I was speaking with an accountability partner that I have, and the questions that she and I were going back and forth with was, I've been in business for just about 6 years as well. And I think that's the same time frame she has been. So, when you look at a lot of business coaches, life coaches, they the information that I have experienced is the same. Who's your target audience? Create your avatar, what are your goals, things like that. And I've created all of that. I think because I've been in business for so long, and we're at a bottleneck point right now. Just to kind of shorten things up, we're at a bottleneck point. Like, I know who my target audience is. I know what my pricing is. I know what my service offering is. So how do you feel that you help clients in that space who've been in business for about 5 years, from the 5 to 8 year mark, who already have all of this information filled out and who kind of need to stretch?
Right. Who still where they want to be. There's two things. One, I think the way I do my clarity and my vision planning is a little bit different because it's encompassing of everything, not just your business. It's really getting clear about what you want. I also do big picture, and then let's break things down into tiny steps so that we can create that roadmap that you know what to do each day. So like that's where I think a lot of people get stuck, right? It's like, oh, I've got this big thing. What do I do? Or even if you map out some of it, it's like, what do I need to do right now to get started? But I also teach them how to start delegating and really use their time far more effectively so that they're taking those right actions that we're actually going to create success. And when the roadblocks, we're looking at why, like what's sabotaging you? What are you creating in your head that's keeping you from being successful? And I've worked with a number of different entrepreneurs over the years now where like they've been maybe, $60,000, $80,000 a year. And, they were doing, they were doing okay, but through their work with me, they've now doubled their revenue and they're about to triple it again for the second year. So they're really starting to have the impact they want, and they're making more money. Like they're actually making a decent living wage, for the work they're doing, and they're working less.
Okay. I think because, and like I said, that seems to be the struggle with a lot of the people in my network as well. Like they talk about frivolously spending money because the business coaches, the mentors, and I don't know if it's, they don't know how to ask the right questions of these professionals. They feel like it's the trending thing to do to hire a business coach. Mm-hmm. And it's a spiral. They're on that hamster wheel, like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do because that's what people tell me to do. Find someone to help you, but they don't know what questions to ask, and now they're wasting money. And it's cyclical. And I said, well, okay. I don't know how to help you because you're in that, because sometimes I feel the same way. You're in that bottleneck, and you don't know what you don't know, and you feel like if you don't have the right questions to ask, or no one leads you down that path. Yeah. And I only know this because I was talking to my husband about it. Like, where do you go? Like, is it sales? Is it, you have your daily task list to do, but how do you kind of move to the next step when you want projects, you want to create a product, you want to maybe host a retreat or a workshop? How do you thrive in that space when you don't have the next step? And,
and that's where, like, a good business coach, like, I'm very results oriented.
Okay.
So and particularly with my individual clients, if my clients aren't achieving results, then we need to look at what's happening and why. So, we have measured goals, and sometimes
I like that phrase. Measured goals. I'm writing that one down.
So, a lot of times, sometimes it takes longer to reach that goal because we've got to get through whatever it is that's blocking them. And that's what a good coach, and what I'd like to think I offer my clients does, is that they're outside of you, so they can, they can see the chaos and the swirling stuff and help you move outside of yourself, because you can't get to where you're going taking the same actions that you've already taken. You have to do something different. But if you can't see what the different is, it's really challenging.
Okay. So I remember the phrase before we started the recording. I couldn't remember what it was. Zone of genius.
Yes.
I love that phrase, and I borrowed it so it's in my Q&A for my interviewees. Like, what is your zone of genius? And knowing you personally, I know what it is for you. Um, but you kind of shared it a little bit, but really get creative with it. Like, what is your zone of genius? So, hey, don't give me the PC answer. Like, I'll tell people I make you look good online. Like I do. I help people get really relaxed in front of the camera, and they forget that there is a camera in the room. Like that's how I get my images of my clients. Like, what do you like? Get really creative with what's your zone of genius.
Right. So your zone of genius is the space that you're serving and you're making money in the most.
Okay.
Right. So it's the place where you're having like the most fun and you're running your business from a place where that's how you bring income in too. So for me, like my zone of genius is my coaching, running these programs. I like writing most of the time, those types of activities. Every once in a while, there's the like little writer's block, but and what happens to most entrepreneurs is we get bogged down with I need to figure out how to launch my website. I need to, increase my mailing list. I've got to write a blog every week. I've got to do, X, Y, and Z, whatever the thing is, right? And we're spending all this time on things that we're not meant to do, particularly if that's not your strength or your personality type or any number of other things. Most entrepreneurs are visionaries. They're big thinkers, and they're not super detail oriented. Now there's a few, right? But most people who are out there to make a difference and who, have this creative idea should not be the one figuring out, how to implement or how to create the system or the procedure. And those are the things that you want to start delegating or getting, because those are the things that are going to keep you from getting what you want and keep you from being successful.
Okay. I had a whole different thought process with that phrase. Yeah. But okay.
Both, because your zone of genius is that joy of you're really good at this piece, right? Mm-hmm. You're really good at getting people to relax, which is why people want to work with you.
Okay. I like it. Yeah, and people work with me for that. Take my picture, but don't make me feel like there's a camera in the room. Like, okay, there is no camera in the room, and here you go, 30 pictures later.
Right, and that's what you want to be spending most of your time doing, not your bookkeeping.
Yeah, we don't like doing the bookkeeping. Yeah. Okay. So, you have a workshop, the Success Blueprint, coming up in July, and you have. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it starts in July. I think it's the second or third week. I'm not sure, but it's on the website. So. Okay.
And something in the fall, correct? Or are we not talking about that yet?
Well, actually, I have a couple of things coming up.
Oh, do you want to drop some tidbits? Or no?
No, I'm going to share a couple of things. I'm really so super excited.
Okay.
I have a couple of things I'm working on. I'm going to be starting my own podcast named still TBD. But I'm going to be talking about really how do you create the life and the business that you want and most of my audience is women, but creating more of a feminine balance in a leadership style as opposed to the old school kind of more masculine place. And how do you find that place where you're in the flow in your zone of genius, along with, all the different ways to, marketing, sales, etc., social media that can help benefit entrepreneurs in growing their business.
I want to take a step back for a minute. You mentioned earlier that you were a health and wellness coach and you transitioned into this field, into the business section. Was that an easy transition?
Yes, once I acknowledged that, this is what I was doing.
Okay. Excuse me. Because I find, and you and I have talked about this, we may have talked about this. Did you do any rebranding? How did your audience accept it? How did you feel about that space? Because I find that you hear it a lot of times, jack of all, master of none. Is that, if I'm saying the phrase correctly?
Yeah, jack of all trades, master of none.
Yes. So you started out as a health and wellness coach. Now you're a business coach, which can seem to many as two very different ends of the spectrum.
Right.
So you make this transition, and how is it accepted? I mean, I know you
It's been really good. And yeah,
okay.
I did rebrand a little bit. Like we elevated or evolutionized, I guess, my colors, the actual branding piece. We just launched my new website a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
Updated social media, but it's been such a natural progression over the last couple of years. This was really just the final piece of, oh, hey, this is really, and people still get some health coaching.
Okay.
It depends on what they need. I mean, it's, and I've never been, the way I was working as a health coach was more from an emotional standpoint. Why are you making the choices that you're making? As opposed to here's a food list and a menu and, that's how you're going to lose weight. So they really tie very closely together because how you're doing one thing is how you're doing everything else in your life. It's just the tools that I use now are different. And my background is in business anyways. I mean, my degree was in business. I launched a corporate cafe. Was a project manager for a marketing agency. I have done, worked in catering and conventions and event planning. So the whole sales, customer service, planning, project management, all of those pieces I have an experience in.
Okay. So, well, yeah, I guess. Okay. So I see what you mean, that this is a natural progression of your background then. Okay.
I didn't just wake up and be like, oh my God, I'm a sales goddess.
Okay. So you're just tapping into what you naturally already knew and then tying in the health and wellness to it.
Right.
Okay. I like that. All right. So your podcast is coming in the fall.
And then I'm
really excited to hear that because I think podcasts are fantastic. I have 2 children, so I could reprioritize some things, but I like listening. I think it's like fireside chats with an author when you can either cook or drive and just actually hear their the voice and their emotion and their excitement behind the content that they're sharing. I think it's fantastic. Which is part of the reason why I got into this because, I had a professor tell me, please check your grammar. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just stop writing as much and just start talking to people because I can do this. I can see your face. We can talk when I share it out on, like I said, the social outlets. The audience can also hear our emotion, and it's just a great outlet. I think it's more personal. I think I love it. Okay, so I want to start wrapping it up because I want to respect your time for the afternoon. It's a beautiful day. And so what 3 pieces of advice you want to leave people with today?
Start with the end in mind.
Okay.
Like really get clear about what it is that you want and not just like, I want to make, $1 bazillion. Like that's secondary. How do you want to feel? What do you want to do? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to impact? What mark are you leaving? Like, what's your legacy? Right? Like that's.
I love that.
Yeah. That's 1. 2 is for me and everything that I've researched, like I have become a productivity geek, I think over the last couple of years. The rituals and habits that you keep are what will either make or break your success. And that ties into, because a lot of those will play into your clarity and your vision. And the last piece is get support. Like hire a coach. I said, I was going to say get support. Hire a coach, have an accountability partner, be in a mastermind, talk to other people about what's going on in your business, because that's the best way, I think, at least to start, expanding what you're thinking.
Okay, so I'm going to read these back just to make sure I have them right. Number 1, start with the end in mind. Number 2, check your habits because they will make or break you. Number 3, get support. Okay, coach, accountability, talk to someone.
Right.
Am I right?
Right. A lot of entrepreneurs, solo entrepreneurs, who work from home, are like, I don't talk to anybody. I don't see anybody. I feel so alone. Like, go to Starbucks or the coffee shop or whatever. And, even that can just get you outside of the, your funk, and just that energy can be really creative and inspiring. I do my best writing at my Starbucks.
Yes, I know. We have an independent coffee shop down the street. It's called Found It. Now, these people are genius. It's a coffee shop and pizza shop together. So I can work and take the kids to eat at the same time. So because they have coffee and pizza. So it's called Found It Coffee and Pizza here in East Falls. Best cappuccinos ever. Okay. Best cappuccinos ever. So that's where I go during the day. And if I have the kids, I take them and they eat and they play outside, and we are a happy, happy family. Emi, thank you very much. What I'm going to, excuse me. So as we wrap up, the show notes will have your tips, your websites, and your social links, okay? If you want to toss anything out to our audience, email it to me, and all of that will also be into the in the show notes as well, okay?
Yeah, I was going to say, what I would love to offer everybody to really take a look at what habits are the ones that you want to start implementing or looking at, is I have a free 21 actions to build your success, and they're 21 habits, rituals, practices that will totally supercharge your business.
Oh, see, now that's amazing. I don't even think I saw that yet. So
I'll send you a link for that. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll have those links in the show notes as well. Yeah. Thank you, Emi. Have a great day. I love this one. Okay.
You're welcome. It was so much fun to hang out and chat business and be with you.
Yes.
So thank you.
Have a great summer. I
Always.
enjoyed having you. Yeah, because your kids are grown by now, so it's just you and you forcing them let's go spend time with your mom. So
they like hanging out with me still, so it's just enough. It's good.
Just enough. Okay. Thank you, Emi. I'm gonna pause the recording. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.